Thank you.
Oh, no, I didn't start in right.
You know, she gets a double cushy.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, mobile.
Especially in the middle of the night when you start having.
This clock calls me. Pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Roll call, please.
Mayor Bauer,
Here.
Councilmembers Robinson,
Here.
Edvig. Here.
All right, and before we do item 3 here, we need a motion for that.
So we're gonna change the agenda tonight, motion would be, to remove item 9A. And then to add item 9E.
All right, I will make that motion. Do we have a second?
I will second.
Second by Councilmember Edvig, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Now we will entertain a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Make the motion, Mayor.
Motion by Councilmember Robinson, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Edvig, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We'll entertain a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda. We have
Motion.
a motion by Councilmember Edvig, do we have a second?
Okay, I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Robinson, do we have any discussion for the consent? No? All right, we'll, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Meeting open to the public. You want to speak at all?
No. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
So we'll move on to new business and we'll start with item B, giving we removed item A. Item B is personnel policy revisions.
Mayor and council, before you tonight are the second round of personnel policy revisions for this year. Some of these are related to housekeeping, some of these are related to process with changes we had made or changes we had not made on the last one, as it relates to the day-to-day business of how staff operate, and some of these are due to legislative responses from the last session. Walking through those, we made some changes to our definitions, cleaned up the attendance to meet with the ESSL requirements. And then in the compensation is where we did some clarification on the compensatory time, some health insurance, the vision, and the wellness policy that is also a legislative change. The biggest piece of this is probably the section 9, the earned sick and safe leave, the ESSL. That was a legislative requirement. And as city staff and attorneys, we went back and forth on how to move forward with this. We are taking our balance of sick time and turning it into an ESSL pot. Staff do not gain any hours, they do not lose any hours, but what it does is expands the definition of what we already have to meet the legislative minimums. That being said, that we may be back in the future proposing new modifications if we see that this isn't working out well or we didn't quite get it right, because we do expect the next legislative session to have quite a bit of updates and cleanup as well. We had some cleanup additionally in the holidays, the vacation section, and then the other really big section of this cleanup, and these changes had to do with our computer usage. We finally did receive an updated computer policy for Metro INET. This does apply to both staff and council. It applies to anybody who's on the Metro INET system. You will start to see some, emails to review the policy directly from them. It'll come through the Before You Know system, so expect that as well. But then this aligns our policy with that Metro INET policy and takes out the old policy that still talked about floppy disks and modems. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions. But that's what's before you tonight on this.
Thank you. Sarah?
I do not have any questions on this. I just want to thank staff for all their hard work on this policy that takes a long time.
I have no more questions I have here.
I read through it too. I don't have any questions at this time, so with that, we'll entertain a motion to approve tonight's personnel policy revisions. Do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Motion by Councilmember Robinson, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Udvig, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item C, MOU between the city of St. Francis, LELS 319.
This Mayor and Council, before you tonight is the first of 3 MOUs. With the personnel policy changes, we do have another series of MOUs coming for LELS's 2 groups. But what this is these have to do with the wellness policy that was put in place in addition to the retention and incentives that we discussed at the work session in October. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions, Kevin?
No question, Mayor. We've had it out in, we were all in pretty much in agreement at the time of the work session, so I did.
Sarah?
I don't have any questions.
All right, with that, I will entertain a motion to approve the updates to collective bargaining agreement as proposed.
I need a motion.
Motion by Councilmember Udvig, I have a second.
I'll second, Mayor.
Second by Councilmember Robinson, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And the next MOU between the city and the LELS 411 sergeants.
Mayor and Council, these are the identical to the last LELS MOUs. It has to do with the employee wellness and the retention incentives as discussed in October. Happy to answer any questions.
Sarah?
No questions.
Kevin?
No questions, sir.
That will entertain a motion to approve the updates to the policy, MOU to the city of St. Francis and LELS 411 sergeants. Do we have a motion?
I'll make your motion, Mayor.
Motion by Councilmember Robinson,
I'll second.
second by Councilmember Udvig. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And so we'll go to the item E that we just added with very similar, the MOU between the city of St. Francis, IUOE, Union Local 49.
Yes, Mayor and Council, this MOU has to do with changes that came out of the personnel policy last May. When we had approved that last policy, we knew there were legislative pieces that we're still waiting for, so they were asked to wait until this fall to get these MOUs to us and their requests to us. So this is the updates that are being requested by Local 49, which is our 6th public works staff. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Sarah?
I do not have any questions on this.
Kevin?
Just a clarification, in case this was suggested at the last minute, or they're entitled to it at the last minute, were they delayed in getting information to you to? Why wasn't it in the regular packet and coming late?
Oh, Mayor and Council, the reason it wasn't in the packet last week was actually my doing with the week we had, so,
Okay.
yeah,
I didn't know
it was
the
actually-
union
it was,
late. No worries here.
okay, yep, nope, that was on me, not on them.
All right. Well, that's all I have, thank you.
So that will entertain a motion to approve the updates to collective bargaining agreement as proposed.
I will make that motion.
Motion by Councilmember Udvig, do we have a second?
Good, Mayor.
Second by Councilmember Robinson, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And with that, we will now move on to reports. 2023 year end.
Mayor and Council, so last report of the year. To wrap up, I just wanted to walk through a couple of pages of the year-end report. On page 5, we talked about our administrative projects, the software conversion that has to do with all of our financials, and our permitting has probably been the largest project we've taken on as a team so far in City Hall. This is an ongoing and it continues to be a learning process. We have a lot of legislative pieces that we are still working through and we know are coming for the next year. I put some of the statistics, how we have the highest history in introductions, but not in the top 50 even for things passed. So a lot of discussion and concern, but very few movement. And then the city adopted 21 new ordinances. On page 6, I start out with our Highway 47 redesign. On Friday, we submitted a grant to Met Council for $17.9 million in an attempt to get this highway done. We have a second grant that will go to the state February 1st, which is just tied to the roundabout intersections. So we'll see if we can stir up some of that. I am working on pieces that we'll need to pull together for the January 11th elected officials meeting, and all of the state and county officials have been notified of that meeting. The City Hall Fire Station is under construction. We are moving forward. We had a slight delay with that plumbing, but we've got a really good team in place that picked that up, and we have slight delays. I want to give a thank you to Craig and his team at Hawkinson Anderson for both the Highway 47 and the City Hall Fire Station. They have really stepped up with some last minute pieces and really helped us get through some bumps, both with the plumbing and with the highway with the report we were missing. So they've been scrambling right along with us, and we do appreciate all of that help from Hopkins and Anderson. Council, and we've spent a lot of time together this year. We had the 23 out of 24 council meetings. We had 8 work sessions and 5 special meetings. So we have definitely done some work this year. And then we worked through the passing of Mayor Feldman, and we all remember some of his words and his one-liners that will forever be with us. So on page 7, we've done a lot with parks this year. This year we funded it. We have some park commission is in place. We got the farmers market, which was a huge success. All of these things are, really coming out of that park plan and what we're hearing from the residents, and they're so important to the community as a whole. Now we had 16 land use applications, and then we also you approved the UAV program, which really has to do with the safety of not only our residents but of our staff in the police department and fire department as well. Page 8 talks about our human resources. Right now we end the year with 64 staff members. 27 of those are part-time, including our firefighters. I put the different staffing levels in there, and you can really see an interesting jump between that 5 to 9 years and that 10 to 14 years where doubles in longevity. So our goal is to really see, who we can keep here and who we can really keep this team strong to build. We have 12 that are over 15 years, so I applaud them for sticking with us year after year. On page 9, we've talked about the personnel policy a lot this year. That has been a hurdle, and in the next 2 years we'll have more of that just because of legislative session pieces that are still rolling out and things that are due in 2026. So I expect more of that. For finance on page 9, we touched a little bit on the budget. The long-term financial plan was another big document that we got through this year, and really made a lot of strides to work through all of the departments and understand what our future looks like and how we start funding that and our needs and our wants. And then on page 10, to look forward, really what 2024 is going to look like. We're starting the year with a new staffing person. The City Hall Fire Station, we hope to have substantial completion. They're saying September, but with some delays, September to November. Elections are going to be a monster this next year, and with Commissioner Look, they go back and forth on whether we're going to actually have to hold a 4th election. So that is going to be a lot of time with Jenny and her team in regards to these elections next year. Highway 47 will continue to request funds and really hit the streets on getting that through. Again, we expect the legislation to be heavy. And then at the bottom, I put the local officials meetings. I would encourage council to go to those. I know you get emails from the county. In addition to, there's a lot of LMC trainings that are out there. If you attend those, the city will cover the fees for you to attend either the dinner with the elected officials or the LMC trainings. With that, I just want to thank all of our staff. We've got a great team right now. Department heads all the way down. We've got it rolling fairly smooth, and really proud of all the progress that we get done in a year. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Sarah?
I do not have any questions. It's been an eventful year for sure. So, there's been weeks where I see you guys 4 days out of 5. It can be kind of fun.
Again, I wanna thank all the staff too, you guys did the heavy lifting, we just kind of showed up when we were told to. And you guys had the paperwork ready for us in front, and then we had ample time to study what we were coming to meet for, so, again, you guys did all the heavy lifting, so. We're just, small bit players in this big theater that we do every month and throughout the year, so. Just wanna say, also on the longevity of the captains and the chiefs who take care of the departments, the people that are hanging in there, says a lot of longevity, the people that serve. Other than that, it was an action-packed year. Hopefully next year, our main focus will be Highway 47. We actually get some traction there, to use Kate's words, and get something to go on our side. It's gonna be a big ticket, and the building's kind of up and running on its own, not really on autopilot, but we were where we wanted to be when we started this journey, 5, 6 months, or actually 7, 8 months ago when we first approved, let's do this, so and now it's happening, so that's cool. Other than that, again, just a big thanks to everybody, and happy to be a part of the team.
I don't have any questions either. I'd just like to thank all the staff that everything we've been through this year. Definitely with the passing of Mayor Feldman. You guys have helped me a lot, my transition over to the seat, but it's always tough regardless of whether or not we have to deal with that. But he's definitely missed. I think Rob also had a family emergency, so I just like to send my thoughts and prayers out to him as well. But yeah, I don't have any questions. Just thank you all our staff, definitely send us down the line, and our third parties as well. Legal engineering and anybody else that I may have missed. So, thank you. With that, we'll do council member reports. Kevin.
Oh, I really don't have anything additional to report, other than this Sunday I did attend the St. Francis Gladiators Wrestling Tournament. There was 463 kids that registered to wrestle. So that if you multiply it by the families that came with it, and the commerce that came into town in one day. Technology's come a long way too, and I actually met with the 84-year-old dad who started this back in 1972, I'm gonna say, I think he's in the early 70s. But it was just a small club with some parents doing their thing, and it's pretty cool, so really brings the community together and brings some commerce into town, so then people have fun doing it, they look forward to it, and it gets higher marks amongst the circuit as far as the other communities that they go to. I was at the end of our last week, and it was as well attended, but again, for our venue, what the school district also helps out, they contribute quite a bit, but volunteerism is alive and well in the young families here in the St. Francis, so. Other than that, I'm looking forward to the year coming up, and hope everybody has a safe and pleasant holiday in front of them.
Thanks, Kevin. Sarah.
I attended the East Bethel Elementary Winter Concert. It was very entertaining. And I also, on Saturday, I went to the Gathering of Friends, which was one of my Lions. And that was a fun event as well. And I too just want to wish everybody happy and safe holidays.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't have a lot in the past report, I guess. I would encourage everybody to be safe, have happy holidays, enjoy Christmas, enjoy New Year's, be safe, make good decisions. I do have an email exchange with the mayor of Oak Grove, hoping to meet up with them tomorrow. He said, he gave me a time, but I haven't got a place yet, so I'm hoping to have that exchange tomorrow at some point. Nothing particular to discuss, just kind of touch base and hopefully, help further our commitment to each other as far as, being sister cities there. So, with that, I guess I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will make that motion.
Motion by Councilmember Edvig, we have a second.
I think we should stay a little longer, I'm just kidding. I second that.
Second by Councilmember Robinson. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried, meeting adjourned at 6:18 p.m.